We're now moving on to task 4, learning intentions and success criteria. You will understand how to work out triads, and you'll be successful if you can work out the triads of chords 1, 4, 5 and 6 in G major. So this is work that you have done before in your blues composition that we worked on earlier last year, but we're just going to go over it again. We're going to work out how to play chords 1, 4, 5 and 6 in the key of G major. These chords are triads, which means that they're chords made up of 3 notes. So if you think about a triangle, that's got 3 sides, a tricycle has got 3 wheels, triad is just a chord which is made up of 3 notes. You can see the G major scale above. This is very useful for working out our chord triads, and you should already have done this in the previous assignment. If we number each note or degree of the scale, it's easy to work out chords 1, 4, 5 and 6. We simply look at which note the number corresponds to. So G is 1, C is 4, D is 5 and E is 6. So we've got here, so chord 1 equals G, etc, etc. We're not finished yet though. We need to work out whether our chords are major ones or minor ones. So remember, our major chords, if you play them, they sound bright and happy. Minor chords, you play them, they sound sad or serious. In a major key, chords 1, 4 and 5 are always major, and chord 6 is always minor. So therefore, chord 1 would be G major, chord 4 is C major, chord 5 is D major, and chord 6 is E minor. Now to work out our triads. Let's work out the triad for our G major chord. The first note of a chord is called the root note. The root note is also the name given to the chord. For example, G is the root note of G major, because it's the name of the chord. And B is the root note of B major. It'd be the same. F sharp would be the root note of F sharp major, etc, etc. So the root note of G major is G. To find the other 2 notes of our triad, we simply jump over 1 note of the scale, in this case to B. So we take our G, we miss 1 note, and then we go to B. That is our next note in our triad. Then we repeat this to find our last note D. So we miss this note, and then we move on to this one, D. Therefore, the notes that make up the chord of G major are G, B and D. So just to repeat, you start with the root note. So in this case, we're looking for the chord of G major. This is what number 1. We skip a note and then we choose the next one. So this is our next note in the chord B. We skip a note and then move on to the next one. This is our next chord D. So then these are the 3 notes of G major. You would do that for any other note. You would start with whatever note of the chord that you're looking for is. That note would be number 1. You skip a note, move on to the next one. That's your next note of the chord, sorry. Then you skip a note and move on to the next note of the chord. Complete task 4, working out chord triads assignment in class notebook. So, complete the table below using the scale to help you out. You should write down the chord name in the name of the box chord. In the name of chord box, and the letters in the notes in the triad box. Remember that chord 6 is a minor chord. So, I've already done the first one for you. Chord 1 of this scale is G major, and the notes in the triad are are G, and I skip a note, B, and then I skip a note, and D. So those are my notes in the triad. Chord 4 You just need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would tell me what the name of that chord is. And then you do the same thing to work out the notes in the triad. Start with the root note, miss a note, the next note, miss a note, and then the next note are the notes in the triad. Same with chord 5, you go up to the 5th note of the scale, and then chord 6, move up to the 6th note in the scale, remembering that chord 6 is a minor chord. Once you've done this, click on Hand In the assignments.